Okay, so today I want to talk about several things concerning Final Fantasy XI Horizon. Um, so I wanted to talk about party etiquette. So when it comes to like behaving yourself in the party, there's certain things you need to take into consideration. One, how you're behaving and where you stand within the party. Okay, first and foremost, if you're not the party leader, um, try to keep your opinions as to where to go and what to do to yourself unless explicitly asked by the party leader. And I say this because setting up a party is extremely stressful, right? As far as the party leader is concerned, don't start a party unless you have the tank and the healer first. That's the fastest way to go about starting a party. Once you can establish those two jobs first, then you can party. Don't start a party with DPS first. That doesn't make any sense. They're not rare, if you will, to get. So you can easily get them in a matter of minutes. Healer, tank, you can do any kind of party with, and you need to get those first. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you're gonna critique somebody in party, do not do it in party chat. Okay, this is extremely rude. On many occasions, I have been corrected in public chat, party chat, about how I'm playing my ranger. Look, everybody has a starting point. Everybody plays a new job. They want to experience the game. Especially if you're a retail player like myself, I never had a chance to play a lot of these jobs. So now I'm using Horizon to play these jobs and enjoy them. So if you're going to give me advice and you're going to help me and you're going to help the party, do it in private tell like a normal human being, like someone who has some respect for themselves and their party members. Do it in tell because it's not disrespectful that way. If you do it in party chat, you make yourself look like a dick and you're engaging in hostility in a game where it's not intended to be hostile. This is a cooperative game. So what do I do when I deal with that? When someone antagonizes me or publicly criticizes the way I'm playing or what I have on my character, I will make it my objective to leave the party. And that infuriates not only you, the person who did the critique, but also the party leader. So if you're going to critique someone, make sure you say it in tell. Let me say that again. You're going to help someone, you're going to say it in tell. Because if you're trying to help someone, you're not trying to help yourself. Because when you say it in party chat public, that's trying to help yourself. You're trying to say that you know the game, you're the best, and blah, blah, blah. But if that was the case, you wouldn't be in the party, right? Especially when you're especially when you're not that job. If you're a bard and you're telling me how to play a red mage, for instance, which did not happen, I'm not gonna take what you're saying seriously. You're not the same job as me. Instead, why don't you tell me and tell, right? That's the first thing. Another thing is, if I die in a party, I'm going to say something, right? That means something is going wrong. Don't take it personally, but it has to be said. That means something is wrong with the dynamic, where we're at, what we're doing. For instance, I found that in goblin parties, it's always never a good thing to do goblin parties. Someone always dies. There's always an issue with goblins. Just stay away from them. They're not good. They're not good XP. And specifically in the area of Teleport Yod, you know where the cats and the quarrels and the worms are? Don't do it. It's not a good party unless it's all Beastmasters. Other than that, it's just, it bogs down the computer too much when you're around that crystal. And then also the quarrels can spot kill you when you're like doing other things. Just stay away from that area. So we talked about Final Fantasy etiquette, party etiquette, and let's talk about link shell obligations. So the personal reason why I don't have any link shells is because I don't want to feel obligated to help someone or obligated for people to help me. If you are truly a competent player, let me tell you again, if you truly are a competent player, you do not need a link shell. Because you can fundamentally start any kind of game-based dynamic that you want. You want to start, for instance, you want to start I don't even say dynamis. You want to start dynamis, you don't even necessarily need a link shell. You just go and do the yell, right? But for any like mission-based stuff, you can simply do yells for that, right? And this way you avoid like being obligated to help people out of reciprocity and everything like that. And personally, I don't necessarily do anything unless it benefits me. And that's just me because I've been playing this game for a very long time and I've seen people come and go and they used me and all that stuff, and I'm sure people have used you. So to simply stop that is you don't do anything you do not benefit from or that you do not want to do, period. Okay? And that comes out of self-respect and self-sustainment in the game. You're supposed to be developing your character horizontally. That's the whole point of this game, right? It's not to shoot up to the stars and then get all the items and then leave, just like a lot of people I know do, right? Because that's very rude, very annoying. And then when you come back, because you burned all those people, you burned them, you're not going to get help when you come back. You're not going to get help from me. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're not going to get help from me. I've experienced it so many times when people come back. Oh, can I get some help? I just came back. I don't care if you came back. I don't care. You got all your stuff and then you left. My opinion on you is I'm not helping you. I don't like you. Okay? So it's always best to horizontally develop it. That means taking your time. That means not rushing to the top. That means not obligating other people. That means fulfilling your own self. And this kind of it's interwoven with, it's kind of weird. It's kind of interwoven with spirituality, Buddhism, and self-respect, which is why the game is the way it is, because it was developed by Japanese people. And it's no coincidence that it follows sort of that dogma. This is getting a little philosophical, but I'll stop right there. And this is why, essentially, why the samurai class is so good, the ninja class is so good, and the monk class is very interesting, like where you're supposed to essentially be developing yourself by yourself, right? The monk is supposed to be fighting for himself, developing his staff, developing his punching, etc. But anyway, so concerning the self-respect, so you don't really necessarily have to be begging people to do things. If you're in a situation where you're begging, you probably should be doing something else, like working on your craft or fishing, right? You should be. That's what you should be doing instead of begging, because there's so much to do in the game, and there's so much accoutrements and helpful things that can help you in the game that can get you what you need to do, right? You can see the yell chats, etc., and you can look up the strategy guides. We no longer live like in a Final Fantasy world where you don't know the level of the mob when you're provoking it, when you're starting a party level. By the way, I did start in Final Fantasy 11 retail in the very beginning when Chains of Prometheus literally just came out on the PS2 and on the computer. Now I'm not saying I know everything, but I'm saying I kind of know what I'm talking about. Just telling you, okay? All right, so another thing I wanted to talk about is BCN etiquette. So I came to some situations where I've actually failed BCNMs and I've done really good times in BCNMs. Look, if someone is starting a BCNM, you need to pay attention and you need to listen to what they say initially. I'm not gonna kill myself trying to tell you how to do something if I've already told you once. If I told you, for instance, in the Royal Jelly BCNM, get the crab, get the tiger, Beastmaster, sub nin, or sub white mage, and you don't do this, and you don't listen to the strategy that I tell you, and you fail, this is your fault. I mean, yes, everybody makes mistakes, but if I'm telling you what to do, like, you need to listen. BCNMs, it's not that serious. It's not real life, but it takes a lot of your coins, your Beastman, whatever the hell, the Beastman things, seals. So pay attention and listen to the leader, okay? In fact, I would even go so far as say, let the leader go first, so that if an issue arises, the leader fails. So that's what I think you should do. I used to personally do that, but people just do random now, and it's kind of crazy, but whatever. When it comes to, and then lastly, when it comes to gear infatuation, and this applies to every single game, mostly Final Fantasy 11. Look, the gear, having good gear is really helpful, but it's not it's not do or die. You can proceed in the game to 75 with mediocre gear. You don't need the best gear in the game to enjoy or play the game. Now, there are some exceptions. I would say if you never had a chance to have the Saburo samurai sword with samurai, that you should probably get that. I personally got that sword during retail, during the restricted like level caps on Chains of Prometheia, and I was very happy and very proud to get it, and I enjoyed it very much, especially when I had sub dancer and I was, you know, tanking and DDing in equilibrium parties. But with that exception, like, you don't necessarily need the best gear in the game. What needs to get done is you need to hurry up and get to 75, because you'll see that all that gear that you had prior to 75 is kind of like not good, not useless. It's kind of useless because it doesn't carry over to more pertinent and more important stuff. Which arguably doesn't make any sense because it's a video game, nothing is necessarily important, but once you're 75, you have all this gear that you can use to help other people and help yourself, right? So, like, for instance, those Oshudo, Onimusha codes, whatever those things called, you don't necessarily need that. You don't need the best gear. What you need to do is be a leader. And being a leader is helping people, making parties, making things for the community. It's not leeching. It's not being a coward. It's not criticizing and making yourself look more important than other people. This is not conducive to a community. So if you're doing any of those things, you're not like helping yourself or other people, then you may as well not even play this game. The whole point of this game is it's a community-based game. Okay? And just remember, if you're like confused of what's going on, Final Fantasy is not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And this harkens back to people getting everything they want and then leaving, okay? Just remember those people. Don't help them. Just remember, it's a marathon. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, okay? You guys enjoy. Take care.